we are recording right now. Hello and welcome to another experimental live stream event from Came From the Radio. This is your host, Mark Torres, speaking.
I'm a guinea pig.
Here with a really cool guy. We actually had him on the show. It's Brimstone. He is a entrepreneur, actor, wrestler, musician, sauce maker. Did I miss anything?
Oh, there's a lot there, but you know, it's okay. It's all right. There's too much to talk about.
So we're actually in his offices, Hound Entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be taking the world around for a bit, but I want to have a couple of questions with him first, because he was on our show, It Came From the Radio, which airs every Sunday at 4 p.m. And when I asked him about his past, he gave me a whole laundry list of stuff, and we didn't have enough time to go into everything. So the first thing I want to ask is about comics, because that's where I know you from.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to a convention in the 90s, and I saw your stuff. And then I see you every once in a while, but I haven't seen you, and you always tell me that you're at every location. So where does the comics come from? And where can people find comics about your stuff? What's it about?
What is the Borderhound series about, or Houndcomics in general?
Well, your comic.
My comic.
Yes.
Well, Brimstone and the Borderhounds are basically, just to give you a semi-view of it, Brimstone and the Borderhounds are Hell's version of the Border Patrol. They're not meant to keep people out, they're meant to keep people in. So that's just the tip of, what, the Borderhounds are about. Now, if you want to go a little bit further, our book, actually has a lot of depth. And there is a whole world, surrounding, the Brimstone and the Borderhounds universe. So, basically, to give you a good idea of what happens within this universe is anywhere you could be born and raised, whether it's Earth. Anywhere that you could be born and raised, you're actually being bred for the afterlife. Now, the afterlife, as we know it, is heaven, hell, nirvana, Valhalla, and so forth. Now, for us humans, we believe that heaven's a good place to go when you die. Hell's the worst place to go when you die. Nirvana's bliss, and so forth. The truth of the matter is we've actually bought into their folklore. The actuality is that they're all competing corporations vying for the hottest commodity, which is the soul. So, just because you go to heaven doesn't necessarily make it a good thing. Just because you go to hell doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. It all depends on, what position you get once you get there. So it's, kind of like real life, kind of like we are here in the world, life is not necessarily bad, you know what I mean, depending on where you work, depending on the position you have. So it's the same thing in the afterlife. So Brimstone and his crew of Borderhounds, they're, as well as all the other Borderhounds, they don't work per se for the corporation of hell. However, what they do is they kind of are their own, kind of entity that go out and they collect the souls, weepers, okay? Weepers are, human souls and other souls that are running out into the wasteland. We call them weepers. Why? Because they cry, I don't belong here. What am I doing here? I was so good. It doesn't matter whether you're good, bad, or indifferent. If you're meant to go to heaven or hell, that's where you're meant to go. And again, depends on what you get once you get there. So Brimstone and his crew go out, they collect these weepers, they bring them in, and that's how they get paid. So, it turns out that Brimstone, his half-brother, Orgrathon, is actually the CEO of Hell currently. And Hell, the corporation that was built by the architect, which is their father, who was also modeled after a friend of mine, Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca from Star Wars, if you don't know who Peter is. And what do you call it? I don't want to give out too much more from that, but there's always some uneasiness between the brothers, and it's a very cool storyline. Each character, kind of like in the what's the best way to describe it? Like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yes.
each character actually had a meaning. They were there for a reason. There was a purpose for each character. We do the same thing. Each of our characters have a purpose. There's a reason that each one are in the universe. So, every single character has a role. And that's the way I like to write the books and write the universe.
Now, you write
Yeah.
it yourself? All the writings yourself, or you
At
have
this point now, it is, yes. I did have my partner Marcello Carnevale who did write with me, and he was the guy who really put it into you know into position, because that's what he does. He's a writer. Me personally, I've learned it as I went. So and I've been blessed enough to have all the critics love my work, which is a great thing. Thank you. What do you call it? So he really helped to develop everything there is to do with the background and the history of the actual
the series
series.
Bible, as they
Yeah,
call it.
the two of us. I mean, look, I had plenty to do with it, but the two of us sat down for a cup of coffee. That everybody who knows me and knows the story, has heard this time and time again. But we went to sit down for an hour cup of coffee, turned into a 5-6 hour ordeal where we actually sat and wrote the entire Bible for the universe. So yeah, it was crazy.
So comics, and your character is in the comic. So and your character is a wrestler, right? That's what your
No,
character. No,
nothing to do.
nothing to do with
Nothing
wrestling.
to do with
Okay.
wrestling whatsoever. So if you don't like wrestling, you're good.
All right, so
So,
so I was trying to segue to the wrestling, but I did a terrible job.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You know what it is? Is that the wrestling to the comic, the segue to it is quite simple. How did I go from wrestling to comics? Is what you were getting at?
That was where we were
Okay.
going at.
Well, the wrestling world, if you remember and you recall from back when, wrestling was a gimmick. Everything was a gimmick. So, each person had a character, and those characters had backgrounds and histories, and for one reason or another, they knew their characters. I know my character. I knew my character, and my character was a viable, character in itself. So, and again, I'm sorry, my brain hurts, so I'm trying to make as much sense as possible. But my character was viable, and in wrestling, the characters are larger than life, or at least they were. So, I come from a time of, where the characters were larger than life. Everybody had a gimmick. So that being said, I figured that the best way to make a segue in, outside of professional wrestling, because, look, I love the industry for what it was, not necessarily for what it is. So I wanted to make that segue out of the business, even though I still wanted to kind of stay in it or have my little toe in it, because you never say never. You never know. There might be a comeback every once in a while. You think about it, but, you never say never in the wrestling industry. So, that being said, I figured what would be the best way to continue to build and brand the name outside of the ring. So what did I do? I said, well, comic books. It's one of my first loves. Well, you can take this character, turn it into a comic book, and you've got something really cool there. But you take the wrestling out of it. Out of it, because that just screws it all up, And I love, like I said, I love wrestling. But, the only thing that the connection between the two is the fact that, one, the characters are larger than life in wrestling and in comics. And the same thing with the background history just makes a really cool storyline for a comic book, movie, animated series, the whole 9 yards. And going one step further, what do you call it? The character itself, every once in a while, will do a wrestling move from my old career. So
Okay.
that's the only real tie-in
All right.
to professional wrestling. So you'll see my finishing move in issue 4, I think it is,
Right.
where the artist sneaks it in, and I'm watching you guys, but but they sneak it in just to kind of keep up, not forget where I came from.
So let's go into the wrestling. I know a lot of people always were saying, and back in the day, of how wrestling was fake,
Mhm.
and then they're like, no, it's real, and it was a whole back and forth: is it real? Is it fake? And then as time goes on, as we are in 2015, people are now kind of accepting that it's fake, but it's still physically demanding. It's something that it's kind of like a football game, but you know the outcome. That's the only difference, is that you only know the outcome. Is that a correct statement of how wrestling works?
Somewhat. It's not fake.
Right, I'm saying it's a real event. It's like a real football game. It's a real match, physically demanding. You are doing these things.
It's predetermined.
Predetermined.
However, fake is the wrong word to use, and the reason why I say that is, um, look, we're not, half the art of professional wrestling is we're not trying to kill each other. We each have families, we each have, people to feed. So, the idea is to not hurt the other person. That's why there is extensive training in professional wrestling. It's not to sit and beat the crap out of somebody. It is to learn how to not injure the person that you're working with. If I DDT'd somebody, for real, they're dead. If I powerbomb somebody, for real, they're dead. Or they're going to be in a hell of a lot of pain. So, in the ring, when I hit you, I'm still hitting you.
Correct.
I'm pulling my punch, but I'm still hitting you. So yeah, it hurts. You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing something. If you're live on television and you got a camera in your face, and I'm sitting and I'm dropping my punch a little too soon, so I'm not really connecting. What does it look like? It looks bad. It looks horrible. It looks fake. So when you're on television, there's a lot of tight work, stiff work, which means you're actually making a little bit more contact. Sorry if I'm giving away too much information. That being said, you also got to keep in mind I'm 300 and change. Okay, if I'm jumping from the top rope, and that's what 6 feet up, and then I'm another 6 feet up, and I'm jumping another 2 or 3 feet up, landing down on top of you. Guess who's going to get hurt? Doesn't matter if you protect yourself; it hurts. So fake, no. Staged, yes. You know what I mean? And that's basically where I would go with that. Hope I'm making sense.
It does make sense. When wrestling comes into play nowadays, I mean, it's changed a lot from when it started out, from when I was a kid back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, everything was larger than life. And then nowadays, people have different wrestling federations, and then they have the big one, obviously, is WWE, where it's all about gimmicks and storylines as opposed to actual technicality of the wrestling. I have a friend of mine, he loves wrestling, and he's always bashing on WWE for the overall storylines and the gimmicks as opposed to just, the technical grappling and throwing. Yes. What is your opinion on how wrestling is now to how it was back then? Especially since you used to do it back then.
Well, back then it's still that the technical stuff wasn't necessarily there back when either, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It was more gimmicks then, so it was still stage, but it was less bad acting like it is now. Like now, it's just like bad acting. Then yes, you had your technical players. You had your Eddie Guerreros. You had your Chris Benoit's. You had your Dean Malenko's. But if you also remember, for the most part, those guys, except for Eddie, were very low. They were lower on the totem pole because they were the guys that could actually sit and work. Very technical. Shawn Michaels, very technical worker. Bret Hart, very technical worker. Owen Hart, very technical worker. But again, the technical guys are very different than the theatrical guys. Vince had always put a lot of bank on the guys who were 6.5, 7 feet tall, and monstrous, who couldn't necessarily work a match on their own. They had to rely on guys like the technical guys to kind of get them through it. So you have your 4-move wonders like a Hulk Hogan, who is legendary, but that's not because of his wrestling skills. It's because of his stick work. He can work a mic and he can energize people, get people behind it. So for me, yes, I love the technical aspects. Am I myself a very technical wrestler? I know a lot, but I've never been like super technical guy. I don't do 50 different hammer locks and wrist locks and leg locks. That's not my thing. But I respect it, and I believe that there is a very good market for that. A lot of people, especially wrestling fans, they have a very small. How do I put it best? They have a small attention span when it comes to a match. Too much too much technicality, I think, becomes a little boring for them, and they want that show. They want the big bang for their buck. So they want to see someone like, Taker or Kane, choke slamming somebody from, 7
Yeah.
feet in the air. They want to see, the super power bomb, and but without the technical aspects, you don't get the build up to those big moves. You see what I mean? So it runs hand in hand. And I hope I answered the question.
Yes,
I kind of went a little Ori on it, but
we're good. This is
good.
this is how it is.
Okay.
So we also have you have many other things. I want to talk to you. You said you were a child actor and you were also in a band. Now, our senior, you were in a band. Now, our senior correspondent, Charlie Taladino, is here. So Charlie's going to take over this because Charlie is in a band. Well, he performs. He's a drummer right now. And he has a special connection to Romper Room. So come on over, Charlie, while we're doing this.
I'll be a while. I'm far.
I feel bad that he called him a senior.
Well, this is his title. He gets a title. He didn't have a title.
Wow.
He's special.
It wasn't. You weren't saying it about the age thing.
No.
Okay.
Yes. All right, Charlie. So this is.
I thought you were insulting the poor guy. I was like, wow. Hello, Charlie.
Hey.
You're gonna have to talk to me.
This is always very professional. I
is.
wore that on that
Very professional.
the 31st or the 21st. Wasn't
Yes, it was Red Nose Day.
Red Nose Day, and I had it on. I went to work like that,
Oh, did you?
and I'm a security guy. And I walked in there, and my boss was saying, "Take that off." I said, "No,
No, you got to support.
no, you got to support."
Gotta
Anyway,
support.
how are you?
I was doing well.
How the heck? My first question is, how the heck did you find time for this live streaming?
It was hard. My schedule's been bombarding me, which is a good thing. But at the end of the day, I felt it important. I love you guys. You guys are great. I enjoyed our interview. At GBB, and it was something that we discussed, and I figured, hell, it would be great to have you guys come in and be fun for us, hopefully be fun for the fans.
Yes. This is a fabulous place, by the way.
Thank you.
I was, while Mark was talking to you, listening intently, loved the wrestling thing. But as I was taking pictures, I was making sure to get all these interesting artifacts. But anyway, getting back to the wrestling thing, just very quickly, because I want to jump into the band thing. I think when they changed it to entertainment, when they changed it to WWE, and I think the E is now for entertainment.
When they got the F out.
Right, because so many people were saying it was staged. I think that took a lot away from the physical talent that all these wrestlers have. Because once you put the entertainment, they lose. My gripe is you lose. I was at
The credibility.
But you lose. They're saying, "Oh, it's entertainment, so it's staged, so they're not real." Oh my God, they're getting hurt. I was at the first WrestleMania.
Oh, wow.
I went to the first. I saw
You're dating
Liberace.
yourself right now.
What?
You're dating yourself right now.
Yeah, I always date myself. I'm very lonely. No. So anyway, I'll be here all week. Try to view.
There we go.
But I was there. Liberace was dancing there with the Rockettes.
Wow.
That, I think, was the first. And I saw a lot of great wrestlers that day. And but what I came away with from all the way in the Bruno Sammartino days, if I didn't date myself then, was that I respected these guys because I saw them get hit no matter what it was entertaining. But what I came away with on that day was, wow, they really hit. They really, So I think that entertainment thing, although they had to do that, I think that takes away. And I hope the people realize that the taxing on the human body with a wrestler is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my Taz, that whole story. They did a pile driver or something, and he actually hurt his neck. Something was wrong, and he had to stop for a while. I don't know.
I don't know if didn't he have fused back? I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened, but he had to stop because that was a pretty serious injury. But anyway, people don't realize how it is. Respect wrestlers. I mean, don't it's just a demanding field.
Well, most here it is people look at professional wrestling and they laugh and they take us as a joke. Anybody who's in the ring, they say, well, one, they're not smart, they're not athletes, they're not, they're not even good actors.
Right.
That's what your common consensus is of professional wrestling. And in turn, professional wrestlers, one, hit the hardest aside from boxers. Boxers, I'll give them a little bit more than us. However, professional wrestlers are on the road, professional ones, at least 300 something days a year.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you call it? Professional wrestlers are working, a few days a week, if not more so, year round. Okay, when we're in the ring, we're taking that impact constantly, at least for a 5-10 minute match, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Any other sport is baby games. I'm sorry, and no offense to football players, no offense to other sports, but at the end of the day, baseball, you're swinging a bat and hitting a ball. I don't want to hear about training and sports. They're 6 months out of the year and they're playing. Well, 6 months out of the year you're sitting and playing. We're doing it a hell of a lot more.
I know exactly what you're saying, and don't anybody out there, if you take it the wrong way, you're idiots.
Yeah.
But I know Mark cringes when I say that, but it's the truth. You know who you are.
It's very important to understand that in the world of professional wrestling, there's a lot of it's a lot of physicality, and and people don't understand that it's a sport. It is people get injured all the time. And our injuries are usually a hell of a lot worse than somebody who's playing baseball or soccer, or what I mean. There's harder sports out there like lacrosse and like football. But even football, they're playing a total of 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
Now, given those 3 minutes, they're taking major hits. These guys are larger than I am. No offense, guys, but at the end of the day, you're playing 3 minutes. We're playing for and they have a whole team of people. There's one person against one person for the most part. We're taking the full brunt the whole time. So that's and again, I'm not challenging any of the other sports out there.
No, I know exactly
just,
what you're saying, because it's frustrating. It's like the magician when the little kid is going, I know how that's done.
Mm-hmm.
You want to just, how's this done, kid? No, and don't hate kids. I'm not a big...
They call them smart
I love
marks.
kids. Yeah.
And
it's Mark again. It's Anyway, let's get into the music
Transition,
first, and then I'll attack the romper room thing. But let's get into the music first. Tell me about your music. What's happening with that?
Well, I haven't played in quite some time. Every once in a while, I'll get behind a drum kit and knock around a bit. But for the most part, I toured in music. I did the music thing from college, and then some until I got into professional wrestling. So for me, I missed it. I miss it. I loved it tremendously. I've done pretty much a lot of things that you can do in that industry.
Right.
I had the opportunity to play, CBGBs and, a lot of different major, arenas that other people don't have the opportunity to do. And,
did you do CBGBs?
Yeah.
Oh my God, God bless you. I love people, you guys out there, especially you kids, don't know what an impact CBGBs had on the music business.
On the music industry, absolutely.
Yeah, just they got a movie out now, CBGB's. Just watch it, and oddly enough, it was supposed to be a country bluegrass bar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that story.
That's not what happened.
No, that's not what happened. But that's what it was supposed to be. But getting back into the music, do you? I know you have you don't hardly have any time.
Mm.
But did you ever, like on a downtime one, and get in and be creative and write something? Or did you ever have the inspiration to write something?
Yeah, I do a lot. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I can't fall back asleep, and something will be in my head, and so I'll do like lyrics and stuff. Not really on the drum side. Like I'll sit and I'll tap on my desk all day long.
Right.
But what do you call it? I'll write. I write more than obviously I play now. So I write poetry for my wife often. I'll sit and write her, different things, and so she gets that, the sappy side of me. And
Yeah.
aside from that, though, I just, as much as I have the urge, especially when I go see friends of mine who are playing,
Yeah. Did they let you sit in?
I haven't even asked. They
Oh
would.
my
They
God.
would. They would. I just,
Yeah.
I don't. I have such rust. I
Yeah.
got last time I did it. I was with Bumblefoot from GNR and what do you call it? Dan Nelson, who used to be one of the singers for Anthrax, and we're sitting in the garage over at Dan's house and in his, or not his garage, in his studio space, and they're like, "Oh, Bram, get behind the kid, get behind the kid." I'm like, "Nah, I don't think that's a good idea," and I did it anyway and went back there, and I just, I guess I was intimidated because you got some great players,
Right.
and yeah, it was just all right. I'm not, I'm done. I'm not playing anymore right now. It's just for me to go up on stage unless I was really getting the rust out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Get the rust off. I don't feel comfortable going out and doing it.
Do you have like kits at home, or do you have anything at home you could?
I have two kits, but both of them are actually in storage right now. They're not at my house, so which sucks. But I have my Gretsch and I have a Tama.
I'll tell you, my two kits are in a shed somewhere.
Yeah.
But what I did was I bought an electronic set.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't play in a band. I sit in a lot with bands, but I'm playing percussion now more. But what my point was, I come home and when people pick up their guitar and then I just put the earphones on now, and anytime I come home, you play. So you might want to think about electronics.
Yeah, but it's still the time and the
I
location,
know.
and I did think about it a while back, and I opted not to. One really cool thing on the music side of things, I am in contract with Serenity Custom Drums out in the UK, so they're actually going to be doing. They're just waiting on me, to be honest. So they actually have a really beautiful birch drum. We're doing a collector's edition of Brimstone snare drums.
Nice.
So what do you call it? It's going to be all comic version of Brimstone all around the snare, and we're going to put that out there. It's just that I have not had the opportunity to get
yeah,
it finished,
yeah.
and they're going to hate me, but it just takes taking time. That's all.
Yeah. And we know what your schedule's like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. Um, but basically, now having said all that, let's
Hate
talk
on
about.
Romper Room. Here it comes.
No. Let's talk. No. I really like Romper. Let's talk about the TV work you did as a child.
I did. I was on Romper Room, which you hated. Romper Room, that show you hated. The show that you hated.
No,
Romper Room.
I
Then
didn't.
I did Sesame Street. Notice I got off Romper Room, so I didn't have to get torn apart.
Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street.
Yes.
I was a lot older, and I saw every Muppet movie there was. I watched the Muppet Show, and I even watched Sesame Street because they were brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Love. Anything to do with Sesame Street, the characters, the Muppets, the whole 9 yards. I wish that I was able to do the Muppets. I think that they brought the Muppet Show back. I don't know if it's still back, but I know it was briefly.
they brought a couple of movies back. They brought the
movies,
two
yeah.
movies on it.
Love to do one of those flicks.
Oh
That'd be
my
awesome.
God. It was some look.
The Muppets will be on air, I believe, this September. They brought it back. The Muppet Show's coming back.
Nice. I'm in.
Excellent. I'm in. I'm watching. I got to block out that chunk of time now. But yeah, no, I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were brilliantly written. Romper Room was a big part of my life. It was very disappointing to me because who was there when you were on it? Was it Miss Louise or Miss? There was a lot of Misses.
I don't even remember.
Okay.
I remember I was like 5.
All right. So
I don't remember. I don't remember anything.
so
I have Sesame Street memories, but
Right.
my Romper Room memories, the only thing I remember was the magic mirror and a bee.
yeah. Well, I was always a doobie.
Mm-hmm.
And which we understand.
Just don't be a donkey.
Right, yeah. But here's the rub. Every day at the end of that show, because I was so faithful, and I was sitting there, I expected one of those days, all those years, she would say, "I see Charlie."
And she never said Charlie.
She never said Charlie.
Oh.
She did. I have so much anger
So
in me.
sorry.
I have issues
You do?
because she didn't see Charlie.
Oh, you need one of those I
She
has
didn't
issue
see-
shirts up in the
Right,
front.
she didn't see Charlie. Therefore, I thought I was nothing, and I thought nobody saw.
Oh,
No, it wasn't that extensive. People in the front are going, "Is he a sick man?" No, no. It just I could not believe that I didn't see, and the names that she saw. You know, I'm not attacking anybody's names, but there was names I couldn't even pronounce, and she saw them. So I have a little problem with that.
you
But
know she didn't really see anything, right?
what?
You know she really didn't see anything, right?
No, I know.
Okay,
I
just
know.
making sure.
I know.
It's
I
about
just-
it's
I
faker
just-
than wrestling.
I just found out on the way here. He told me.
Oh
No, no. I know. I just loved the way they would put up, and she would go romper, stomper, dumper, and the thing was like in front of her. It was on
Wow.
that round thing.
You actually
and
remember.
then like the thing would spin, and all of
Right.
a sudden she'd come back, and it wouldn't be there. Never saw me, but it wouldn't be there. I thought that was
Oh.
cool, and I could just thinking back, being in TV production, I could just think back when she saw the cameras go to the spin house, she would punch that thing out. But again, experience-wise, were you aware of the impact that those shows had when you were doing them?
No, no, not at all. Of course, when I was doing them, I was 5, 6 years old. So you know.
Right, but at least Sesame Street, did you know how big that was? I mean, you got to work with the Muppets.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it was. I knew it was a big deal, but I also, like I said, I was young, and it kind of messed with me a little bit. You know, for example, one story that I've told before is, you know, I was backstage with my mother, and you know, all of a sudden, Big Bird starts walking towards us, and I'm sitting looking at him, going, "Wow, it's Big Bird! Oh my God, you know, it's the biggest thing ever." And what do you call it? All of a sudden, and at that point, my mother was, you know, slim and so forth. Not so much anymore. No offense, Mom. But what do you call it? She was sitting with me in the back, and this bird comes over, and all of a sudden, reaches to the side and picks his the head off of the body, and there's this human head inside. But when he's talking, he's still speaking like Big Bird, because he's got like the mouthpiece, you know, the mouth thing was on, so he still sounded like Big Bird. And we're sitting here I'm going, "Oh my God, they killed Big Bird! Oh my God, what happened?" You know, so here's this you know, little 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid,
Yeah,
you know,
it's,
very like thinking that you know, oh my God, Big Bird ate this guy, and this guy just killed Big Bird and ripped his head off. But for some reason, he sounds like him. I don't know why. So then Big Bird was hitting on my mother,
Oh man!
and which
man.
was crazy. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at him, and then he, you know, he starts walking away, and I'm following him, and then the worst thing ever happened. Because, you know, he was tall, so he's tall, but I'm watching it. Oh my God. And my eyes started to welt up, and I was looking up, and up in the rafters was Snuffy. And I said, "Oh my God, they killed Snuffy." You know, it was up in the rafters, and you know, and you're not moving, and you know, and I started crying. I was like, "What did they do to Snuffleupagus? Why is
Wow.
he's not moving? He's you know," and yeah. So that was a rough time.
Well,
You
I
heard
bet-
Maria just you know, retired too, right?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Maria, I remember she's been there forever. Ever and ever. And you get to know all of those. And with that, with watching the Muppets and all that stuff, came the electric company that wasn't
Oh,
too
yeah.
far after that.
Yes.
You had Rita Moreno, Morgan Freeman, had
Yeah.
the big guns in there.
Oh yeah, and they weren't big guns at that point.
Yeah, right. And but anyway, just to solidify that Big Bird wasn't all that he was meant to be. I used to work security for Macy's, and I did the parade. And one windy day, the Big Bird flew. Now, when you're doing security, you stand very at attention along the sidelines, and you don't want to give Macy's a bad name, so you're very polite to people, and you stand there.
Unless you're Donald Trump.
Yeah. And you stand, yeah, but you would know him with the hair because it was very breezy that day. Anyway, but I digress. Anyway, we're on Central Park West, and they have streets, and Central Park is on one side, and then you have streets. You have 71st, and as the floats come by those streets, if it's windy,
Hmm.
those floats start
Oh, yeah.
going. So what they have to do is they have to roll it down
Right.
when they see the first one do that.
Hmm.
But the first one has to do that before they. First one was Big Bird. Now I'm standing there, and Big Bird is big. The float is
Oh
big.
yeah.
And I'm standing there, and I'm at attention, and all of a sudden the Big Bird float is veering off over my head into the trees at Central Park. You see the handlers, who are just regular people, except
Right.
for the first guy, trying to pull him back. He hits the branches. A ton of branches fall on my head, whereas I'm not moving. Okay, they're bouncing off, little branches bouncing off.
So you hate Sesame Street too now, huh?
No, just Big Bird, because Big
It's
Bird
got a
tried
hate on the
to.
bird.
I was almost killed by Big Bird. I mean,
Wow.
you have damaging stories like one way. I have another. I was
Fair
too
enough.
thrilled,
Fair enough.
But that damn Big Bird, you all think he's nice, but we know.
Yeah, well,
And-
he was trying for you. Look, he was just trying to make a new nest.
Yes.
He had to get a little bit going on, and
But-
you just happened to be there. He couldn't see you. He couldn't see you. Did you see the belly on him? He couldn't
Yeah.
see what was going on. He didn't mean it. It wasn't intentional.
I tend to think, because I'm the senior correspondent, tend to think it had to be the same reaction as Eddie had in the Monsters when Zombo, his idol, do you remember that? Zombo was the monster, on TV.
Right.
And he would introduce the monster shows. And Eddie loved him because Eddie thought he was real.
Right.
And he went back, and I think it was Louis Nye, and he took over his makeup.
Wow.
Has to be the same thing.
I can't wait to see the next time I see Butch. I'm gonna have to be like, "Do you remember?"
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
what
he'll
we
remember.
were talking
Just
about
tell him
this.
Zombo.
Zombo.
Yeah, just tell him. If you
I
see
think I
Butch
remember.
Patrick and you tell him,
I haven't
hey,
seen Butch
listen,
in
tell
a
him
couple months. Yeah.
tell him your Big Bird story. He'll go, hey, I have one. This guy's Zombo. No, but anyway, so what's going on? What's down the road here? What's coming up?
I got a lot going on. One, if you want to talk about locally, you want to talk about nationally, internationally. What do you want to talk about?
Let's work local and go national.
Locally, I'm going to be doing a bunch of different events. I've got Long Island Con, LI Con, coming up shortly. I have Haunt Fair, which is going to be awesome. I'm doing Taste on the Beach. I've got the United Ink Tattoo Festival locally. I've got Taste and Toast the Town. What do you call it? I've got the Festival of Trees, which is UCPN. One thing that's really cool about UCPN is on Monday I'm going to be heading down with some of my people from Hound, and I'm going to be doing a meet and greet with the kids over at the UCP, a little bit of philanthropy over there. So what I'm doing is I'm going there at about 9:30. I'll be there probably about 3:30, 4:30. Just spending the day, putting smiles on faces, getting to spend some time with the kids, it's nice for them to know people care. And I actually contacted my friends over at Build-A-Bear, so they're going to be sending me out about 100 or something bears.
Nice.
So I'm going to be bringing them into the kids of the classrooms and passing out the bears to the kids for them to enjoy. And I'll be signing autographs for the young ones as well as the older ones that are there, and some of the adults that are too. So that's one of the things we're doing. Matter of fact, since you guys are local, you'll understand who or know who WBAB and BLI are.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I just did a big thing with them. With
Down in West Babylon.
yeah, with my buddy Fingers over there. We did what do you call it? It was oh my God, what is it called? Plugged into Long Island. Thank you, Anna, my social media guru over there. Yeah, so what do you call it? So Plugged into Long Island is a philanthropy show, that you come on, you go on and you talk about the different things you're doing. So, we were just down there and I was talking about, this whole, shebang that we're going to be doing.
Right.
I'm very, very excited about it, and, it just makes me happy to see the kids happy,
It's a great feeling.
Yeah, people think that, giving back means you have to be putting money out there, and so forth. No, that's not what philanthropy means. That's not what, giving back means. If you could spend time, with people, time that shows them that you care and somebody's there for them, that means more than, a monetary donation.
Yeah.
It really does, and people don't understand that, and I wish more people did.
And I feel sorry for the people who don't. I'm telling you guys right now, I feel sorry for you if you don't understand that.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but anyway, I want you to tell people how you could get your products if they're not in this area and in this amazing place.
Well, you can either get them from stores, depending on what products you're looking to get. We're in every different stores and .coms, from Walmart to Walgreens to, to Barnes & Noble, depending on what you're looking for. You can get us online. Anything that you're looking for from Hound, you can get at houndcomics.com. You can also, soon enough, if it's not there yet, we're going to be doing a store on the Brimstone website as well, which is entrancetohell.com. And if you can't find it, just look us up. We're online all over the place. Call the corporate office, and we'll find a way to ship it out to you. So it's all a matter of just get in touch with us.
Yeah, and I just want to tell everybody out there, one of my favorite things to do is reading a Hound comic while I'm eating a barbecue chicken with one of your delicious sauces on. Segway. Did you see that?
Segway,
Tell us about
nice.
your sauces. And
My sauces, the sauce and
Sauces.
seasoning sauce.
Sauces.
We should do some sampling of some sauces. Pretty much, I have all award-winning sauces and seasonings. We have about 17 in the entire collection, which is the Brimstone line and the Bumblefoot line. He does the hot sauces, I do the sweet and savory. However, I just did a rebranding on all of my sauces and seasonings, so now they're all Brimstone brand as opposed to the Food Hound brand, which is the food show that I do.
Right.
So I did, I just went with the Brimstone brand on it, made them uniform, and it's been working very, very well. I'm very glad about that. So that being said, when I did that, I decided, what, I'm going to do an ultra hot. I felt that it was the right time, and a lot of people are consistently asking, hey, what's the hottest thing you got? What's the hottest thing you got? You're Brimstone, you should have a hot thing.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, you know what, I'm going to do it, and I put together Necrocide, which is my ultra hot. It's about between 6 and a 6.
I love the name. Who came up with the name?
I did. It's based.
Beautiful.
It's a flip on one of our books, one of the spin-off
Yeah.
Brimstone Borderhounds books,
Yeah.
called Necrocide, and it's literally death in a teeny tiny bottle. It's pretty crazy.
It's like one of those sweating, eye tearing, don't touch any part of your face
Yeah.
if you use this product.
Well, it's between 6 and 6.5 million on the Scoville scale.
And it was interesting the way you came up with the sources of traveling around the country and just with the food thing. That was very interesting. Well, there'll be a Brimstone cookbook.
Actually, as we speak, what do you call it? The person who is working on it is Samantha Ibrahim, who also works for me. And she just sent me the first draft of what we've been working on here see, right here, what does this say?
There you go.
Hound recipes, right there. So we're working on, a Brimstone Hound Comics cookbook.
Yeah.
And Samantha's been working her backside off trying to get that accomplished for us so we could try to get it done ASAP.
Yes.
So that is in the works. We have a nice, good portion of recipes right now, and it's all utilizing our sauces and seasonings.
Right. And I cannot wait to get that cookbook.
There you go.
I'm ready for it. But anyway, let me send Mark over here. Once again, a pleasure.
Hey,
as
honor.
always.
Thank you.
Yes, Mark.
So what we're going to do for the rest of the time, because we're almost out of time for this event, we have about 15 minutes left, so we're going to do a little tour.
Sure.
Take a walk around, take
Sure.
a look. So let's unplug that, if you will, Charlie.
No, I don't. Don't ever tell me what to do. I'll be taking pictures.
Okay. So what do you want to do? You want me to take you?
We are
take you
now
around?
mobile. Yes.
All right.
So we are now mobile in the entire place here. So we're going to take a walk around.
This is where all the action happens. This is my little office space over here for everybody who'd like to see. I've got all my fun stuff. You got my Avengers Build-A-Bears that they sent me, and some pop figures. You got the Brimstone collectible vinyl that's going to be out very, very shortly. Look at that. 3 Coconut Monkeys producing it. They do myself, and they do Stan the Man, my buddy Stan. right here. If you don't know, I'm the celebrity spokesperson for the Stan Lee Foundation, so make sure you check that out online. What do you call it? You've also got my my sword, which is the Brimstone sword, so you can find that in the what do you call it? The Brimstone comic book shortly. These are actually also on, available. There's some of my guest badges from some recent events. If you want to see the sword, this right here. Whoa, look at that baby right there. Don't get too close because it's very, very sharp. So if I had a business card right about now, I could show you how sharp it is, but let's not do that right now, so this way we can get along with the tour. Pop this baby back up here. There we go.
All right, so now I have to ask, how did you decide to come into play with your own sword?
You know what? Dragon Song Forge is they're friends of mine, and I had the opportunity to sit with them, and I said, you know what? It would be really cool if I had my own sword. And they said, you know what? We think it would be cool too. And we put that into motion. And literally the same day they came back to me with the sword, and I'm like, holy crap, that's insane! Like, that was fast, and he put a lot of attention to detail into it. Yeah, I mean, I just thought it would be perfect because, you know what, the sword is going to be in the books, so we'll be able to utilize that, and, and a lot of fans are interested in it, so that's a great thing. And I always wanted a cool sword. Who wouldn't want a cool sword? So, yeah, man, I got my emo friend Spider-Man, and there we go. It's Shark Week. Well, we just finished out Shark Week. You need Bruce the Shark. What else we got? What else we got? We got some mind-numbing Brimstone crap here and there because, it is what it is. This is my guitar from The Walking Dead, The Talking Dead. So if you watched the episode where right before Beth died, this is the guitar from the actual show, from The Talking Dead, with my buddy Bumblefoot's guitar pick right in there from GNR. And let's see what else we got. We got some of the ladies that work for us over here. We've got Anna, the social media director. There's Samantha, who did was working on the cookbook. You turn around, you see Shayna. Wave Shayna, say hello. And there's Kevin, one of our salespeople.
What's up?
We're missing a couple of people today because they're out because they're lazy. What? I didn't say that. Come on up front. We have my office mascot, my little one, Haley, who's being shy. My wife Danielle is our office manager.
So this is Mrs. Brimstone?
Yeah, it is Mrs. Brimstone. Sucks for her. Here's some of our, a little bit of memorabilia, nothing crazy. I've got my old wrestling boots here, and this is actually a 3D version of our issue 9, which is the first ever 3D created comic book cover. So this is actually a historic thing right there, because if you look online under first ever 3D printed comic book cover, this is there's a ridiculous amount of press about that. This is actually from the Stan Lee Foundation, a nice little letter talking about me working with them, and it's a very, very sweet letter. This is actually a cookie from Butterwink's Cookies. She does amazing art. Have a little bit of other memorabilia here and there. This is the water cooler that we sit and we talk about. It came from the radio. So I sit here and talk all day about Mark and Charlie and say, hey, what the hell are these guys doing hanging out in the Hound? I don't understand. Why?
You
Why
actually have water cooler talk at the water cooler.
There you go. Right here are a bunch of our novels that we actually produce here at Hound for Hound Publishing. Also, I've got citations and recognition awards from all the different towns in in Nassau County. So we're actually in the town of Oyster Bay. So this is from the town of Oyster Bay. However, we actually have from the town of Hempstead and the town of North Hempstead, so all 3 townships in Nassau County all came to visit me with citations and recognition, which is very, very rare. It's not even their area, but they came down, which is fantastic, so that was much appreciated. If you see down here, this is Loot Crate. So I'm one of the celebrity ambassadors for Loot Crate, and you can see that we have everything on display for the last 4 months. So anybody who is interested in Loot Crate, I'll give you, I think I did it for the radio show, so the same here. If you go to www.lootcrate.com/brimstone and you put in brimstone for the keyword, you're going to save 10% on your entire
Order?
order. Thank you. Subscription.
I'm
so
helping.
make sure you do it. It's great. It's fun. It's awesome. We spin around here. We got the necrocide that we were talking about. I should make you guys taste this. This is, like I said, we've got...
Charlie will taste it.
Yeah. No, I don't want
I
to kill
won't
the
taste
guy.
it.
I don't want to kill the senior guy here. It's a blend of deadly peppers direct from the secret stash, and necrocide is hatred, death, anger, and the tears of small children, packed in a teeny tiny bottle. My wife came up with the wording, and she will never let me live it down that I stole it from her, but it is what it is. We got some Grindhouse. This is my all-purpose seasoning. You guys would love this right here.
Nice name.
It's my flavor profile. It's a little sweeter, a little spicier, and also, if you like that name, you could check us out on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Toxic Radio, the Grindhouse Radio. So we just launched it last week. Thursday night, it's going to be another one. Are we still on? We still good? Oh, we're still good. All right. Pretty cool. We got another one coming up for you, and hopefully you'll be checking us out. Got some amazing people that are going to be visiting us soon, and we'll have a good time with that. This is another big popular flavor, the Dust from Hell. Okay, this is sweet, and then you got an even burn on the back end. It's like a lie, because it's sweet, and you get excited because it's like, oh, that's nice, it's sweet, and there's the flavor, and then all of a sudden you go, whoa, there's the burn. But this right here, some chili, some gumbo on burgers, on steak, that is unreal. Then we've got my Oh Damn pineapple mango salsa. Now, the reason why it's called Oh Damn is because once you put it in your mouth, you go, oh damn, that's so good, that's delicious. So that's why we named it Oh Damn. If you come around here, you can see these are some of the backpacks by eSport. They're also sold on Walmart.com, but feel free to get them from us and from Houndcomics.com. Also, if you come around this side, this is the actual backpack that's featured on The Big Bang Theory. It's currently in its second season. It's in Raj's apartment, right on his back door. There's actually a couple of shots of it there, but it's very prominent in the apartment, which is a wonderful thing. If you come over here a little bit further, you see some of the other sauces and seasonings that we have. This is the fan favorite. It's called Sweet Heat Treat. It's a sweet chili hot sauce. Unbelievable. It is just literally, amazingness on your tongue. So you need to taste this. My Awesome Sauce is another popular one. The funny thing is, most people will pick it up without even tasting it because they just love the name. But it's it's a sweet pineapple teriyaki glaze. And our new tagline with the new rebranding is feed your superhero-sized appetite. Because you know what? You gotta eat, and if you're gonna eat, you might as well do it well, and you're gonna eat it with this delicious superhero-style flavors. So here we go. Boom. Flavor behavior, because you need a little flavor behavior in your mouth, all-purpose seasoning. Taste bud tango. Why? Because it makes you do a little tango on your tongue when you put this in your mouth. It's a lime base. It's unreal. Chicken, pork, fish is usually what we use that on, but people use it on popcorn and a bunch of other things. Y'all like bacon out there? You're baking me crazy! This right here, you're baking me crazy. It's a bacon mesquite. This on some Yukon Gold potatoes. My wife takes them Yukon Gold potatoes. She takes them, wedges them up, throws some Evu on there, then douses them with the bacon me crazy. It is ridiculous. The kids love it, and it's really, really quick prep time. Another big favorite is the Lip Smackin' Barbecue Raspberry Vodka Barbecue Sauce. All right, and then we got for the people that like a little more bite, the Cherry Bomb. It's a cherry bourbon barbecue sauce, which is delish. And last but not least, with these suckers is my drizzle, which is a cherry chocolate bourbon finishing sauce. Oh yeah, I did that. That's good. So that's the sauces and seasonings.
So let's make it clear that each of these seasonings you've tried and true tested out yourself. You just didn't put your name.
Yeah.
You just didn't put your name on it.
No,
these
no,
are
no.
your flavors.
These are all my flavors.
Gotta make sure people know that.
Oh yeah, no. I took it was 4 days in Columbus, Ohio. Well, Westerville, I should say. Myself and Bumblefoot sat there and we went over all of our flavors and designed everything. So everything that you're tasting here, I actually designed myself. I came up with the flavors for it. So if you come a little this way, you got a couple of our couple of our the candies from the candy line. This is the Forza Infernus, the Grub Munchies, and the Wasteland Sand. Wasteland Sand, look, it's like pixie dust. You know, the really cool thing with this stuff is that the people that created the people that are from this company that we deal with, the owner's father is the one who created Jelly Belly jelly beans. So you know they're good, okay? And these are like little nerds, the Grub Munchies. And this is the Forza Infernus, you know? So this is, what is this one? The Sour Wild Berry. Delicious. So then if you come over this way a little bit more, you can see some stuffed brims. This one right here, look how cute he is. You want to take him home and snuggle with him. Yes, you do. You love me, don't you? You love me. Anyway, you know, my wife happens to have claimed one of those, and now she sleeps with this, and she doesn't sleep with me. It's a very sad day in the life of old Brim. But it is what it is. I get her every once in a while. 3 days out of the week ain't too bad, I guess. It's all right. We got the Luscious dolls from the Brimstone series, and then if you're have any kids, we got the Border Pups, which is you know, our kids brand based on the Border Hound characters. So these are absolutely adorable, and we have the third edition coming out very shortly, called Brim's Bad Day. Why? Because his wife took the. No, I'm just kidding. But it's another Border Pups book, which is really cool. If you pop over here, you can see that, you know, we were featured on the Long Island Business News front page. Nice big article on here, so that's a lot of fun. And then, you know, my wife, she does what do you call it? She does tutus, custom tutus. This is my buddy, what do you call it? From
Michael
Walking
Rooker?
Dead and from you know, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mr. Michael Rooker, holding one of her pieces. And then if you come on over here, this is a ton of our different products, a bunch of our comics, almost all of them. We have some new ones that we're still waiting on from the printer, but you know, you see all the different series here. You got the Brimstone and the Border Hounds brand here. The what do you call it? Revival is a very popular series. Concept with Chaos, Solaire, Remnants. If you like WWE, well, you know, this is RVD's book, Twisted Perception by RVD. What do you call it? Ultra Vixen's popular. Two of the new ones. We've got How to Draw Blood, and we've got Symphonic Verses. So those are another two. We're out of the Protector, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd show you that. But Danger Man, made by the same guy, Chris Notarelli. He actually has. This is like a live version of what do you call it? Of a comic book. It's pretty cool. And yeah, hopefully, you know, you guys would want to check some of that out. Right down here is some of our popular webcomic series. We actually have a new one called Cooper that's coming out. They're syndicated, and that should be launching very shortly. But Wages of Sin, On the Grind, and Peanutsels. Very, very cool books you should definitely get in touch with. You know, right over here, we have some of more of our kids stuff. These are, you know, the coloring and activity books that we actually give out for free to the kids, so we have them out here for people to see. These right here are from some of the kids' books. These are done by Alec from Giving from the Ground Up. He is, what do you call it, a very talented kid. He deals with, you know, kids overseas. So these are specifically for children, educational books for children overseas to learn how to read. So that's a very, very cool situation right there. You can learn more about that online. Yeah, and then we've got, you know, like If I Had Superpowers, and it's an extra spooky, heebie-jeebie, creepy Halloween. So we got some really cool kids books right here. Then if you look over here, we got our Stan Lee section. Since, you know, Stan the Man's a pal, and Three Coconut Monkey, the guys who do the Brimstone plushes and the Brimstone, what do you call it, collectibles. Yeah, we have the Stan ones too, because, you know, they produce them. You want to come around here a little bit more. You got Dylan, the mannequin. That's my son's name also. My little one decided to name him after my son because he's wearing his shoes. What do you call it? But yeah, you know, this fine fellow right here is showing some Hound pride, some Team Brimstone on his neck. You had to make him look kind of cool, you know what I mean? Some Wizard love because, you know, my friend's over at Wizard. Pop around here, you got some Brimstone shirts. We're waiting on some other shirts from some of our other brands, and I'm sporting one right here, so you know you can pick one up. Holler at your boy. Look at that. You can be, yeah, just like that. Look, see, cool, right there. And that's pretty much it. That's our whole kit and caboodle.
So people can come here, just
Yeah.
walk off the street, come down here, and pick up some stuff, right?
Yeah, and hopefully you do.
Where are you located?
I am at.
People want to come.
I'm at look, you can see it backwards. It's 7114. No, it's backward. 4117 Hempstead Turnpike over in Bethpage. We're literally right across from Walgreens. It's about a quarter mile, not even off of the 135. Very, very easy. If you're on Long Island, come down, visit us, see what we do, pick up a couple of things. Hey, it's grilling season. You need to pick up some sauce and seasoning. And, while you're here, you could always take some pictures with, the border hounds themselves. Boom, look at that. Look at that standee. It'll be like this. And you can do that. See, look at that. And he's taking pictures while we're doing it. You can take with the Brimstone standee, push this over there, and, just have some fun with us.
All right, so we are just about out of time. Do you have any final thoughts you want to mention before we go?
Mayonnaise. Oh, sorry, that was just in my head. No, check us out, please. My official website is www.entrancetohell.com. Don't worry, it's just a gimmick. I'm a nice guy. And you can also check us out at houndcomics.com. All social media for Hound is at Houndcomics. And for myself, all my social media is right on my website, right on the top. It's anything from Twitter at Entrance to Hell, Instagram, The Real Brimstone, Facebook / Brimstone. If you don't see it on my website, it ain't me. So, just want to make sure I do not post, I do not write, I do not do anything else other than my official social media or official websites. So hopefully you guys will check us out, and thanks for stopping by.
All right, so that is concluding our live stream. As I mentioned, this will be up on our YouTube page. So make sure you check us out. We're always having more live stream events. We'll be doing more stuff with our collectibles and other locations near you. So make sure you listen to our radio show, which is also on every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WGBB. So check us out there, and you can always make sure you follow us on our Facebook page and our Twitter. And we will see you next time.
Now make sure, beat it, Brown Eyes. We're closed.